Hello, do you want to save time in Excel looking for buried items deep in the ribbon? Well, in this quick tutorial we're going to look at how to customize the Quick Access Toolbar to make Excel work your way. The Quick Access Toolbar is a customizable space where you can pin your most used commands so that they are one click or one shortcut away, making them quick and readily available. Let's dive into Excel to take a look at how to set the Quick Access Toolbar up and our top 12 most used commands. So the first option I'm going to cover is paste special values, paste special formats, and paste special formulas. I'm going to group these three buttons up into one for this top 12. Let's take a look at these in action. Paste special values first. Keyboard shortcut for that is Alt ES V, enter, or we could right click, paste special values, or even quicker, we can now use our Quick Access Toolbar, click the Paste Special Values button. Paste Special Formats, Alt ES T, enter, or right click, Paste Special Formatting, or again, Quick Access Toolbar, Paste Formatting. Paste Special Formulas, Alt ES F, enter, right click, Paste Special Formulas, click the button, Paste Formulas. The Paste Special function can be accessed via the ribbon. It's on the Home tab. Click the drop down here and then you've got your shortcuts for formulas, values and formatting. At number 2, clear filters. So I'm going to apply some filters here. I'm going to go for USA and age blanks. Now once I've finished that data, rather than clearing both filters manually, that's time consuming, especially when you've got multiple filters. Instead, let's use our new button, the clear filters. If I just undo that, keyboard shortcut for this is Alt AC. To clear filters using the inbuilt ribbon, select the Home tab, sort and filter, clear. Sticking on topic with filters, we're going to look at how to add the auto filter Quick Access Toolbar. The inbuilt ribbon selection for auto filters is within the Home tab, sort and filters, filter. So if we select our headers in the data, our keyboard shortcut for auto filters is Alt DFF. I'm just going to undo that. And we're going to use our Quick Access Toolbar button, like so. Next on the list is select visible cells. Now this function isn't actually available anywhere in the ribbon by default. Excel has improved over the years and by default it appears to select visible cells when working with filtered lists. However, hidden rows can still be problematic. Let's take a look. Here we're going to hide a few rows and then we're going to apply some highlight into our table. Now if I unhide these rows, you can see the highlighting still there. So I'm just going to undo that. And instead at this point, if we select visible cells, apply the highlighting again, and then if we unhide these rows, you can see the visible cells reliably excluded those hidden rows. The shortcut for select visible cells is Alt semicolon, unhide the rows. There we go. Moving on to number 5 on the list, this is the name manager. The name manager stores names of any named ranges for easily accessing later on. Let's add a named range to our table here. I'm just going to call this range data. How can we find that in the name manager? The name manager by default is within the formula ribbon. Name manager. The shortcut for this is Control and F3. You can see this is our data range here. Or alternatively, we can use our new Quick Access Toolbar button for the name manager. Pivot tables are a great way of analysing data within Excel. Here's how we can quickly access those through the Quick Access Toolbar. So with our data selected, the way to get to this through the ribbon is on the Insert tab, Pivot Table, or the keyboard shortcut for this is Alt NVT. Or alternatively, we can access that with the click of the button, like so. Number 7, freeze panes. so that important headers maintain at the top of the page even when scrolling down with large data sets. If, for example, we wanted to maintain this header while scrolling down, you can see at the moment it goes off the page. Using the ribbon, we could go to the View tab, freeze panes, and then when we scroll down, the header's maintained. The keyboard shortcut for freeze panes is Alt WFF. And we now have that on our Quick Access toolbar here. Moving on, we're going to use the Sort Quick Access toolbar to quickly sort our data. We select the data set. Within the ribbons, you can go to the Home tab, Sort and Filter, Custom Sort, or the keyboard shortcut for that is Alt ASS, or a single click of the button through the Quick Access toolbar. If you use an Excel workbook links, there's a handy button you can add to the Quick Access toolbar. However, we all know they're bad practice. Using workbook links can be a real nightmare for people to try and trace through how your workbook is working. They're hard to track. You might not even realise your workbook is reliant on another workbook until it breaks. Excel workbook links can slow workbooks down, especially when you're working with network drives or large data sets. The new workbook links feature in Excel 365 I personally do not think is as easy to use as the old edit links feature in the older Excels. However, this legacy feature is still available. We're going to look at it now. Within this cell, I've got a link to another workbook. If we go to Data, Workbook Links, you're greeted with this, which just shows the book name. However, if you use the old Edit Workbook Links, I think the interface was a lot cleaner. To access this now, you have to add a custom ribbon or Quick Access Toolbar button, which I've done here, Edit Links. This then shows the legacy Edit Links feature, where you can change source, open the source workbook and break links easily, update values as well. It just doesn't seem as intuitive on this new workbook links window. As far as I know, there's no inbuilt shortcut for this. The shortcut for the new workbook links is Alt-AK. Okay, coming in at number 10, Excel's best kept secret. You know it, Power Query. If you're dealing with lots of messy data or will need automation in your workbooks, Power Query will be your best friend. Let's have a look at how to quickly launch it. Within Excel, if we go to the Data ribbon, Get Data, Launch Power Query Editor. This will take us into the Power Query Editor window. However, we can now do that with our Quick Access Toolbar button, one click of a button here. Are you building a dashboard without any formulas? Then you're likely using Excel's data model, which will allow you to work with lots of data and connect tables at ease. Let's see how we can quickly launch it. There's a number of ways to get to the data model within Excel. If you've got the Power Pivot ribbon open, you can click Manage, which will load the data model. An alternative method is to go to the Data tab, Data Model, Manage Data Model, or now we've got the Quick Access Toolbar ribbon, we can click up here. Finally, at number 12, this is a great time saver. If you use macros regularly and you don't want to be digging through the menus or running code manually, you can actually enable those macros via a Quick Access Toolbar button, which unlocks all the possibilities of everything you can code via VBA. Let's see it in action. Have you ever been annoyed by trying to get to the bottom of a data set that contains blanks? Let's look at this as an example. If we hold Shift, Control, down, every time we get to a blank, we get stopped, because Shift, Control, down only goes to the next blank. There is a workaround for this where you hold Control, Shift, and End. However, that will take you to the end of the last part of your data. You can see it's gone all the way up to the end of my highlighting here. You could then hold Shift, Control, Left, and work your way back to that column. It's quicker than going through lots of blanks, particularly when you've got a lot of data in one column with lots of blanks. However, it's still fiddly. So how about we add a macro to our toolbar that will allow us to automatically, with the click of a button, select everything in that column up to the last bit of data, completely ignoring any blanks. If we launch Visual Basic Editor using Alt and F11, I've already got the window open here. I've just set up this code, which I'm not going to go through in detail in this, but let's briefly go through the code. At the top, we're going to declare some variables. We're going to set the word WS as our active sheet, so that's the sheet we're working in where we click. We're going to set the start cell as the cell we've actively clicked on, and we're going to set the column as the start cell's column number. The way we can find the last row of data using Visual Basics, we're going to define our last row equal to our WS, which was our active sheet. We're going to use the cells function, which allows us to pass a rows and column number into it. So we're going to count the number of rows within our worksheet, and then we're going to use the column number from our starting cell that we've selected, and then the end xlup.row function will take us down to the end of that row. So this if error message is basically going to say if our last row of data that we've found in the previous step is less than the starting row that we're currently selected on, then we want a message box to pop up saying no data below the current cell, and it's going to exit the subroutine. However, if that if is not true, the end if is going to apply, and then we're going to move on to the next line of code, which is going to take our active sheet. We're going to look at a range, and our range is going to contain our starting cell, which we defined up here as our active cell where we're clicking, and then we're going to move on to the bottom of the range where we've defined our last row of data, and we're going to select that. And then I'm going to execute this line by line so we can step through it. Keyboard shortcut to execute through this line by line is F8. You can see this highlights the line we're currently on in yellow. And then if you highlight any of the variables whilst you're going through this, you can see what has been passed to it. So you can see the starting cell shows Alice, our example, and that is the cell we've got highlighted over here. Column number is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last row is found 17, which is Noah at example.com. So it's going to say if last row 17 is less than the starting cell of 4, which it isn't, we need the error. You can see it's skipped over that part, gone outside of the if by doing the end if. And then the last part is saying start cell, last row, column number, select. And you can see now that that's got to the end of the code, we've got our highlighted cells. Didn't have to skip past any of the blanks. It's a quick way of highlighting anything in that column, including all the blanks. So I'm just going to save that. We're now going to go up to the Quick Access Toolbar. We're going to customize the Quick Access Toolbar. We're going to go to Macros, and we're going to use Select Down to Last, and we're going to click Add. You can see that's added down here. I'm just going to click Modify to give it a nicer name. I'm going to call it Select Last row, and I'm going to give it the down arrow as the symbol. Click OK. OK again. This time we're going to click on Alice. We're going to click the arrow, and you can see we've quickly highlighted all that data, and again here. Another great feature with the Quick Access Toolbar is once you've set it up, you can use keyboard shortcuts to access these buttons. These are enabled with the Alt key. Let's have a look. So in Excel, once we press the Alt key, you can see the associated numbers to quickly access these are shown below the icons. For example, if I copy these cells, Alt, and then press number 6, you can see I get paste special values. This is an even quicker way if you like using the keyboard than using your mouse to navigate up to the Quick Access Toolbar icons. I hope you found that really helpful. Let me know in the comments what your favourite Quick Access Toolbar buttons are. Please support the channel by hitting subscribe and like, and I hope you remember the Quick Access Toolbar can save you hours of clicking through the menus for your commonly used tasks.